What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and once again I am joined by
Gershwan.
and today we're back at it to answer more of your questions in this spine-tingling for the greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. That is what Javier Torres did. He asks, do the Custodes support Guilliman, or are they suspicious of him, maybe wanting to replace the Emperor? Greetings from Chile. So first Peru, now Chile. Wow.
You should have put, "Hi, welcome to Chile's."
That's a good question, and I think the answer is that the Adeptus Custodes will always defend the Emperor of Mankind, and they were supposed to protect all those prisoners that they had in those, what is it called?
The vaults under the Himalayan mountains?
Yeah, and they didn't do that because they're gone now, but...
It's like Himalayan mountains? Nah, him a standing and running away mountain.
Exactly. So they will always be suspicious, yes, because their number one priority is the Emperor's protection.
Right.
Just think of any bodyguard group. It doesn't matter if like the son seems cool. At the end of the day, the son could betray the father.
Mm-hmm. So they're always going to square up for their Emps.
Yep, they're always going to be ready. And the best example of that is what you talked about with what's his name?
The Brazen Drakes and the Adeptus Custodes. Adeptus Custodes. There was rumors that the Brazen Drake Primaris Space Marines were chaotic, and the Custodes did not hesitate to wipe them out, starting a little civil war. Even so much that the Sisters of Silence, who were on board the ship, were like, whoa, like maybe you guys shouldn't be going at them that hard. But they did.
They went hard.
Hard, yeah.
Hard to the body with God, because they are gods.
They like told the chapter master of the Brazen Drakes, like, are you chaos? And before he could even answer, they were already firing.
But that goes to show you, like, these are Guilliman's boys, because they're Primaris Marines, and the Adeptus Custodes are like, yeah, we don't care. Yeah. We've been here longer than 10,000 years.
Yeah, we see a hint of chaos, it's getting expunged. So just based on that, yeah, they're going to fight Guilliman. They should already, because, the whole resurrection of Guilliman was because of the Eldari. But at the same time, you also had, like, Inquisitor Greyfax and Saint Celestine, and you had Ultramarines involved and Grey Knights. So I think that was enough to give the Custodes a pass. But I still think they've got, like, one eye on Guilliman at all times.
For sure.
Even though they let Guilliman walk into the Emperor's like chambers and talk to him.
I'm pretty sure he was like, hey, you could send them in, kind of deal. Because they have to have some type of communication with the Emperor. So this next question comes from Jacob Cuthbert. Is the flesh actually weak? And for the Iron Hands, how weak can Space Marine flesh be? I think that's a common misconception. I think the Iron Hands are more of perfectionists, and they are quick to get augmentations, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they will cut their hands off just to have augmentations.
Right. They're parallel to Slaanesh because of the whole thing of like their Primarchs are, they were best friends. One fell to chaos, and the other one obviously got beheaded by his best friend. But even then, the whole perfection thing feeds into Slaanesh, and it's just an ongoing, like, mirror of each other. They say the flesh is weak, but what they really mean is that they're trying to perfect their bodies to become the ultimate fighting machine to kind of avenge their own Primarch.
Right.
And that created a demon.
A very cool demon. What was its name?
Miguelito.
Now he's here with us.
Yeah, I put him on top of my Christmas tree this year.
Ave Maria. This question comes from Eric 9.
9?
Nine.
We'll have an Eric 128.
I think you've asked this before, but which of the 21 Sacred Space Marine implants would you get? I think we went into that whole thing of like if we get any of them without the whole, individual ones would just put you or get you in trouble.
Acid spit, the second heart, the fusing of the rib cage.
Maybe like testosterone boosters, but then I'll lose my balls.
Yeah,
that's where my pee is.
So it's like you have to go to the bathroom more often.
Whatever, because like Space Marines actually don't have to use the bathroom; they just sweat their waste out. So that's what I would want to get.
Yeah, that's why you see in like some animations, like they're like sweating and they go to like brush it off and it's just like a brown streak on their face.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Logan Douglas Giles. Have you ever gotten or been into or interested in the Lord of the Rings Warhammer tabletop? Do you guys even like Lord of the Rings? And have you played any of those games?
I love the Lord of the Rings. I watched it like to get myself in the holiday spirit. It's the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, and Harry Potter get me into the Christmas spirit. Don't know why. But and then I also bought some of the GW. What are they called? The guys who ride the elephants. Those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some of those.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like the sculpts and stuff. But I feel like if you're playing Lord of the Rings, like Warhammer version, I don't know, it feels like it kind of takes me out of the movies. Because it's like, oh, why would Gandalf be fighting, I don't know, the guys that ride the elephants right now? Like, he never did that in the movies.
Yeah, that's true. That's the problem with having, like, named character, or, well, basing it off of a story, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that's what's cool about 40K, where it's plausible. Everything is plausible. Whereas like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, all that kind of stuff, even when we used to play Hero Clicks, it was kind of weird. It was like, why would Superman be fighting the Hulk?
But it's cool to see those like what if scenarios.
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to see who'd win between Sam and Bilbo? You could play it out.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Gollum against Nazgul, great.
Gollum always wins.
Mm-hmm. But Smeagol, not him.
I think if anything, I would be more of a collector of that stuff, though.
Yeah.
Not so much a player.
We do see certain, like there is a group that plays and loves Lord of the Rings. Like there's always this guy painting Lord of the Rings at like our local GW. One of my professors from back in the day, he actually paints and plays Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting to see.
Next question comes from, do you have one?
Yeah. Cats the Slayer. Have you thought of doing a recap video of what happened this year in 40K and give us your thoughts and opinions on what you think the story is going? You, sir, must not be watching my videos. I've got a whole little, like, I don't think it's a playlist yet. It will be a playlist. It is a playlist by the time you're watching this. But yeah, I've got 40K in 2020. I'm reviewing the best model on the tabletop, the best sculpt, the worst thing that happened in this year regarding 40K, and the best thing. So check that out. And I think you said, what do you think the story is going? That may or may not be one of the videos.
There you go. Stay tuned.
Yeah. By the time this is out, that video might be out. So, or maybe not. So
Wednesday?
We'll see. We'll see.
This next question comes from Brandon Barnett. His question is, you said blood angels are longer lived, but has any space marine ever died of old age? So they are biologically immortal, like crabs.
Or jellyfish?
Or jellyfish. So, no, but what they mean by long lived, it's like, because the whole vampire aesthetic is like they never age. That's what it means. So like if Dante, who's over 500 years old, stands next to a 500-year-old space wolf, for instance, you're going to notice a big difference. The Dante's going to be more agile. I mean, he has a named character, but let's say like it's any old blood angel versus any old space wolf. The blood angel's going to look way younger, way like more fit.
Yeah.
Because, black don't crack. Except in that situation, it's black rage.
And they actually do crack. They get beheaded by Astaroth.
If they go too crazy. If not, they just get chained up.
That's true. Which is pretty cool. Like if you're in a battlefield and you see a black storm raving driving up with a chained up dreadnought, there's gonna be poop in your pants.
Yeah, I mean, what would happen even if it wasn't a chained up dreadnought? If it was just a regular dreadnought just waiting to jump down.
Well, just think of it. You see a black dreadnought like pushing and like throbbing and thrashing in like chains, and he drops, and as the smoke clears, he busts out of the chains.
What's throbbing? Isn't that like pulsating?
It is.
Okay.
I could show you something that throbs later on.
Yeah.
My bulging muscles.
Yeah, bulging muscles.
And it's just one muscle. Like clams.
Exactly. They're biologically immortal.
I was about to say, are they long-lived? This one's by Mock Motion 07. Are Space Marines less popular than Imperial Guard in the 40K community? I thought they were the poster boys for 40K, but it seems that everybody's favorite faction is the IG. Instagram?
You probably have gotten yourself into an Imperial Guard bubble, which is common sometimes when you visit forums or you hear people talk about certain things. Certain things gain popularity, and for some weird Zinchian thing, like, you get stuck into that bubble, and then you all of a sudden think, like, yes, Imperial Guards are the best. But no, not at all. If you compare the popularity of Imperial Guard to Space Marines, it's like Imperial Guard are down here, Space Marines are through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
Yeah, another reason why you see a lot of people play the Guard is just the whole, like, underdog kind of concept. It's
and
like,
wounds.
Yeah, you can play blobs of army men.
Another good example of, like, the strangeness of this is, for a while, Gene Stealers were amazing. I think it was 5th and 6th edition. They can go basically throughout the entire game just jumping around, killing things, and they were extremely deadly. So for a really long time, obviously, Gene Stealer cults weren't a thing yet. So just like Tyranids were really, really popular. Who plays Tyranids right now?
That's
no
true.
one. Like, I don't even think I've heard anything Tyranid related unless it comes from, like, a book. But that's about it.
Yeah, when's the last time the Tyranids got a new model? Named character.
Yeah, who knows?
Box set.
It's all been Gene Stealers.
They did have a box set with the Christmas ones that came out, like the holiday box sets. But everybody had one pretty much.
Yeah, but it's one of those. But if you were to jump back to that era, that's all anybody would talk about. That's Tyranid this, Tyranid that, Gene Stealer this.
Yeah.
But yeah, now nobody talks about it. So
yeah. We had a battle brother
there you go.
who used to play Tyranids back like in 5th edition, 6th edition. And what's he doing now?
He has babies.
Mm-hmm.
Babies ruin your hobby life. Don't get them.
Yeah. They're chewy, they're gooey, and that's what's going to happen to your models.
Yeah, they're gonna chew on them until they disintegrate.
Like a Tyranid.
Did you ever take out the Space Marines that you had in Simple Green?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They're not gooey.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to strip paint, Simple Green is amazing for that. Next question.
Adeptus Ultra. Will Tushan ever get a model? Salamanders have Heastan, Adrax, Brayeth. But where is the chapter master? That's a good idea.
It's agreed. I really thought that one model, the Primaris model, was going to be Tushan, but it wasn't.
No. I think they're saving him for later because, again, GW likes not to give Space Marines everything in the same basket. If you're Xenos, yeah, whatever. Just look at the Necrons. They had the Void Dragon, new models, new codex, a freaking return of the Silent King all at once. That's great if you're a Necron player. It's also hurting your wallet. And, like, what do Necron players have to look forward to now?
Well, whatever happens with the Cicatrix Maledictum. Or is it? No, it's the, what is it?
The Pariah Nexus?
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, but still, though, like, two of the hugest names that the Necrons wanted to get, they got them right now.
That's true.
But that's good, though. I wish GW can do that with every Xenos faction.
How would that look for the Tau? Would they just get Farsight, new...
I think they'd get a new, what's that, like the Space Pope, the new Ethereal control? Because he died.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're using, like, holograms of him to keep, like, the people from, like, going crazy or rebellions or...
It would be really cool to see GW finally create a translucent model and then just have him be the hologram. So it would be kind of like the Silent King, except with the Silent King in the center. Because the Silent King's model is basically a diorama.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to see that, like a diorama, and then have like a hologram, like a transparent hologram for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they would do a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, HeroClick holograms didn't look that bad.
They're basically just like clear plastic.
Yeah. But yeah. Did we answer his question?
Oh, when Tushan be there?
Probably not anytime soon.
Yeah. The Salamanders were really good in 8th edition. They're still good now in 9th. but I feel like they had their comeuppance. So maybe 10th edition?
Maybe. This next question comes from Grey Knight Huga. Excuse the heresy. Who would win in the current era? Whatever that is, 41st or 42nd. Galactic War Who would win the current era in a galactic war if there was a coalition between 4 major factions? So the Imperial Guard, Eldar, Necron, and Orcs versus Chaos Undivided and the biggest Tyranid hive fleet ever seen. So if the Tyranids and Chaos join forces against the Imperium, the Eldar, the Necrons, and the Orcs, that's actually a good fight.
It is good, but I think the Chaos and Tyranids would lose.
Yeah, I agree.
The Tyranids and the Orcs can like tie each other up, and then Orcs don't go down easy because they got spores. And that basically leaves the Imperium, the Eldar, and Necrons all against Chaos. Yeah, the Chaos can't do it.
And the Necrons are already messing up Chaos with what we just talked about.
Yeah, the pylons, the Pariah Nexus. Yeah.
Blackstone fortresses and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting too, because the Eldar and the Necrons fighting side by side to fight Chaos? Mm-hmm. What? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Next question.
Simon Teese. If the Old Ones from the Cthulhu mythos entered the 40K universe, how screwed would Chaos be? I don't think they'd be that screwed. Like, Chaos can still, hold their own against anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, actually, they're both the same. Like, they're both supposed to be otherworldly, like, death or destroyers. Mm-hmm. And that's what Khorne, that's what Nurgle, that's what Slaanesh is. They don't do it because they're playing, like, a game. So it's like a mouse, or when a cat kills a mouse, or not kills it, but, like, breaks its legs and then just plays around with it. It's kind of like that. Like, eventually the cat's going to win because the mouse is just there. So it's kind of the same situation where you have 2 cats fighting each other. Mm-hmm. They're just never ending. Or the Cthulhu mythos gods would just become part of the pantheon, part of the wheel.
That's true.
They just like circle. Because at one point Tzeentch was on top, at one point Khorne was on top, and then Nurgle. So yeah.
Slaanesh loved being on top.
Oh yeah.
And on the bottom and the sides.
You know what? She was a good power bottle too. How would that work? Well, she could be whatever she wants to be. Or he.
That's true.
Or it. Mm-hmm. Next question.
It's also a follow-up by Simon Teese. If one of the 4 big chaos gods was to be totally destroyed, what would happen to the other 3 and the effects on the greater 40K universe?
I guess it depends on which one.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine a real world without war or a real world without disease? I think the easiest one to get rid of would be Slaanesh.
You think so?
It's perfection, lust, greed,
pleasure. But that's like, why would people try to do anything if they're not going to get like pleasure out of it?
Yeah, so it would be a very repressed, because you can't get rid of that stuff.
Very dull.
Yeah.
People wouldn't have goals, aspirations.
You do have to get like you have to bring it down to a very minimum, those emotions anyways. Because that's what the Chaos Gods are. They're just like those types of emotions.
Amplified.
Mm-hmm. So like, if you have a regressed, how is the Imperium described? As a like stagnant type of society, where like it's not that they don't want to progress, it's just that they can't, just because the system is designed that way. Mm-hmm. Then in that situation I can see Slaanesh weakening, and the other guys would react by obviously consuming their realm.
There'd be a much more plagues and wars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then last question before this dies.
Ooh, Simon Teese, once again. If the Imperium was based on peace and diplomacy as opposed to conquest and destruction, how would the Imperium have made an alliance? Or would the Imperium have already made an alliance with the Tau and the Eldar?
The Tau for sure, yes.
Because if you have two powerhouses that are all about unity and peace, I don't see a reason why they wouldn't work together.
Exactly. But the dilemma would then be like AI versus people who are scared of AI. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, how could you be progressive if you don't believe in technology, kind of thing?
That's true.
And then the Eldar would be a little harder alliance because the Eldar are cocky as fuck.
They see humanity as still primitive. It's like, why would we, work alongside you guys when you guys can barely, work with yourselves?
Yeah, and the war power stuff is kind of hard to get by because like these guys' emotions are so strong that they can just like they are burning burning torches basically, and then the Tau and the humans are just like flames. Well, the tower is like a candle. But yeah,
that's true. But definitely, I think it'd be a very different humanity. Not as many Imperial Guard, not as many Sisters of Battle, Space Marines. Maybe Space Marines wouldn't even exist.
Right. And those were the questions for today.
As always, guys, thank you for leaving your questions, your comments, and your concerns. And if we didn't get to your question, just keep trying and trying again, because we do these about 3 times a week.
This is Gershwan,
the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and we are out.